And welcome to Daybreak. I'm Debbie Wren, president of the Oxford Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Terry Stiles, production manager at OCTV, your television station in your community.
That is correct.
I have to keep reminding people of that.
You know, I mean, you never know. They might forget. But we're not going to let that happen, are we?
As long as we've been around, we still get people that even come in here and say, you know, I didn't even know there was a television station in our community. Oh my goodness, we promote this community so hard and so long and so enthusiastically because we're 100% behind this, both communities.
Absolutely, you know, and with the chamber, we're doing exactly the same thing. So having the two of us doing this particular segment of Daybreak here, it's like we enjoy doing it and we enjoy sharing about our community events that are taking place and we work well together.
Yeah, we do. We have fun.
We do.
We talk a lot.
I know. You wouldn't even believe what all we talk about before we even get started here.
And we get through the segments and go, geez, oh, Pete, that segment's over with already. So what are we going to talk about, Deb?
Well, you know what? I'd like to start off with the Chamber's third in our series of our speaker series for 2019, and it's going to be Brian Burney who is going to be talking, and his topic is going to be best practices of social media marketing. And talking about social media, we've got another segment that Terry and I are going to be talking about, either our second or third segment today, but concerning social media and how we would like to just share our feelings about that, along with everything that Brian's going to be talking about for our speaker series. That is going to be on Tuesday, April 16th, and that goes from 12 to 1:30, and it's going to be held at the Oxford Public Library, which we all know where that is, 530 Pontiac Street here at Oxford. So, and Witches, excuse me, Witches is going to take care of our sandwiches that day.
Oh my goodness, that's a good reason to go too.
So that's a nice little luncheon, a fantastic speaker.
Yeah, and that's such an important subject. We all need to be more careful on social media.
Exactly. And I know Brian's topic for social media is going to be on marketing our businesses, and of course that is what we definitely need. So I'm really looking forward to that one. So I'd also like you to save the date. We're having our Chamber's 4th annual golf outing, and that is going to be on Friday, June 14th, once again at Boulder Point. They seem to have a nice luncheon there for us. The grounds are always nice. They're always very welcoming.
Yeah. They're really good about doing those outings, those golf outings. It seems like the majority of the outings that fundraiser outings that happen around here are up there.
They're up at Boulder Point, and you know they'll handle 2 different golf outings at one time. I don't even know how they can keep it all straight. I mean, you know, last year we were in one section, and then there was another outing that was in another section, and everybody's running around, meaning us and the other group. But, you know, Boulder Point, they've got it all under control. It's a lot of fun to be there. Our lunches are always good. They provide plenty of food. So once again, that date's going to be on Friday, June 14th, and we chose that particular weekend because that's the kickoff to Father's Day. So we thought, how nice would it be for you know, father and dad, or father and son, or father and daughter to be going out and playing golf.
Yeah, my boys always take my husband out for Father's Day, so that's a great idea to have it on that weekend. That's really good.
My kids live in Plymouth, and my daughter-in-law always, I don't even know how many years now, that she and her sister always take their dad.
Oh yeah, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's a good day out for them. And they're ready. They're getting ready already. Happy spring, everybody.
Yes, it's finally here,
they're,
even though we had that little bit of snow.
Yeah, we can ignore that. We know spring is coming. But I saw them out at Boulder Point, out in the
Getting the
greens
grounds.
and getting everything all pretty. It's nice. Happy spring. I'm excited that it's here. And it's really nice to start talking about these outings that's going on around here.
You know,
Yay.
that right
Outside
there,
stuff.
it just makes you even that much more happier that you're seeing the robins.
Yeah.
We're feeling the spring in the air, and knowing now that golf season is going to be starting. Fantastic. One other thing I wanted to share, and I'm glad that I saw this here in our newsletter, our directory, the Chamber's directory, which many of you have. It's time now for our new directory. And our directories are good for 2 years, so you are going to be seeing Lori from Novaprint. She'll be coming around to different businesses for advertising and such. But this, if you're not a chamber member yet, you had best become a chamber member, because all of your information is going to be in our directory, and our directory goes to different businesses in town. But every new person that moves into the Oxford area, whether it be in the village or the Oxford Township, they all get this directory in their welcome bags. So we have gone through 5,000 directories already from our previous publication, and we've been working with Novaprint, gosh, I know ever since I've been a part of the chamber, and I'm pretty sure it was prior to that too. So they do a wonderful job, and they're always very receptive to, you know, people who want to publish, you know, have their little blurb in there from their business, and there's all different segments within that booklet. I know that the back cover has already been sold. So, and Lori just started out in our area here on Monday.
That's, you know, and so also in the chamber letter, the newsletter that you get every week, Amy's been including the list of people to make sure their addresses are right, or the business name is right, etc., the telephone number. That list to me is so precious. I keep going through that going, oh, I didn't realize that within this community. So just having that information is such a resource. Not to mention it's good advertising for your own business.
It is, and just for your membership of the chamber, which is $180 for a basic membership, but all that advertising, per year. But I mean that advertising, and it's going to so many different homes, and it's we have this placed in a number of different businesses too. You'll always see our directories up at Tim Hortons, you know, and then different doctors' offices. I mean, people want to have those directories. So
speaking of the chamber, you are always looking for volunteers, right, for your board?
Always.
How many people do you have on the board? What's the structure of the chamber board? Is it an elected position, a volunteer? How long does the position last? Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Right now we have our, of course, our president, our vice president, our secretary, our treasurer, and then we have 4 other board members. This is all volunteer. When we can have up to 11 members on our board.
According to your charter.
According to the charter, yes.
Okay.
And it's not that we're elected, but when we have a board member that has left after being on for 3 years, they have that opportunity to say, I would like to sign on for another 3 years. And then they do. If they say, you know, it's time that I let this opening for somebody else, we put out applications that you can fill out as a business. We want you to have been a chamber member for at least a couple of years.
So you
And we
understand.
see that you're active. You know, we have so many things going on as far as mixers and coffee connections, speaker series. If you're showing that you're interested in attending those, then we know that you're going to be interested in being part of our chamber board. We need to have it because we need people's input.
Yes.
And we just want people that are going to help promote the chamber, promote other businesses.
Yep.
If you've been in any networking group, you have to promote other businesses. So I hope that's answered some of your questions.
Yeah, I think about that when you and I are not together, and I thought, well, I'm probably not the only one thinking about it.
True,
That might be
true.
interested in joining as a board member. It's such a rewarding experience to
it
work on a
certainly
board
is.
like that. I've been fortunate enough to do that on several different boards, and it's very rewarding to have that to give your input and bring other people's input to that.
Exactly, and
Form.
we love to hear what other people
Really
have
neat.
to say and how we can promote
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Daybreak. Debbie Wren here, President of the Oxford Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Terry Stiles, the production manager at OCTV, one of the businesses in the community. And I just want to say, Deb, can we start out by talking about a business in our community that's been here almost as long as I've been on. I've been around. Dunlap Collision. We read, for those of you that got the newspaper last week or watched our news, Dunlap Collision is closing. And I'm so sorry to hear that. Partly closing because he's lost his vision,
Yeah.
but another is it's tough to do business in a small community.
It really is.
To maintain a business.
To maintain a business.
Yeah.
You know, we have people that they put their heart and soul in a brand new business. They come into a community, whether it be Oxford or whether it be any community, but they put their heart and soul into it, and kudos to Dunlop Collision. I mean, all these years, and you know,
Yeah.
for someone who has put in, 51 years of
Wow.
service, that this was someone that the community supported. He had returning business year after
Right.
year
Yeah.
after year, where people could go to other places.
sure.
But when you're keeping everything local and you can trust the person that is there, and you know that he and all of his mechanics, anybody who he had working for him, whether it was family or not, he stood behind his work. And that's one thing when you're a business owner, you stand behind what you're doing. And you're doing it because your passion is that business. It doesn't matter what it is.
In the community that they chose to bring their business
Exactly.
into. We're really fortunate that so many businesses choose to come into our community.
Yep.
And for the most part, I know our community receives them well.
Yes.
And if they don't, it can do a lot of damage to someone that's pouring their heart, or a business that's pouring heart and soul and finances into our community.
Exactly. Sometimes a little bit of negativity goes way, way, way too far. And we hear that people were dissatisfied, whatever business it is, whether you walked in the door and you weren't greeted, or whether it be in the food service, or whether it be in a service of a salon. You really don't know what's going on in people's lives. And so to come back, and we're going back to the social media thing now, where somebody has to put out there that they went somewhere and they start a negative statement. And then you have others that feed on that
Pile
negative
on.
statement.
Right.
And it goes on and on. And folks, come on. This is bullying. This is,
pretty
there's
much.
no other
Yep.
word
Yep.
that you could say but bullying. And in our community, we don't need to see or hear anything like that. It's just not fair.
Right.
You know, and for all I know, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to see this and say, well, what is she talking about? And the next thing I know, I'll be out there being spoken about because I brought this topic up. But I happen to be a very passionate person, and my heart goes out to people when they're
Their
said,
livelihood is being
Bashed.
trashed on social media. So you're a champion for the businesses in this community.
Absolutely.
And we all should be. If we go to a business in this community and we have a bad experience, walk away. Go to the next business. It's like being in junior high when you get on social media and go, I didn't like blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
She had a sour. They might have had a bad day behind that counter. Leave them alone. Move on. Go to the next place. If it's a retail store, go to the next retail store and buy your bubble gum or whatever it is that.
Right,
Or,
right.
or if it's a restaurant, leave them alone. And everybody is struggling to stay in a community. They deserve to be here because they've poured heart and soul into our community.
Yes.
They're not doing anything to hurt our community. There isn't, I can't think of one business that is blighted, that shouldn't be here.
Right.
And so to have a social media group pile on, that's a blight to
That
the
is.
community.
It is.
A social media group that represents a community, or they all live in this community, and they're going, I don't like going there, I don't want to be in that place, I didn't like it either, I had a bad experience too. Leave it alone. You're right.
Yeah.
It's bullying. Just leave it alone.
It truly is.
Hard enough to survive.
You know, and when you think about it, it's got to be adults basically that are doing it, because it's the adults that go in, it's the adults that are paying,
purchase, yeah.
making the purchase.
Yeah.
And we were all kids at one time, and all too often, I don't care what age group you're in, you've always witnessed bullying, and maybe you were someone who was
And the
bullied.
recipient, right?
You know, I don't understand what is going on with people that feel that they have a right to do this, or that
Well, they can say freedom of speech, which is true.
Well-
True. There's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
That's true. But have a conscience about it. If it's going to destroy a business in the community, if you don't think they should be here, maybe go in and talk to the owners.
Exactly.
And say, I don't think you should be here. Or if you have a complaint about something in their business, I bet they'd be really grateful if you walked in there like an adult and said, you know what, I didn't have a really good experience in here, and here's the reasons
Right,
why.
share
I
it.
have seen, and I've seen in both communities, Lake Orion and Oxford, and you may not be happy that I'm bringing this up, but where they've talked about they just didn't like some of their purchases, and then other people attacked, and I thought, I'm reading reviews for this particular
Right.
business, and so should I go in there and give them a chance, or shouldn't I? And then it made me think, it's social media. And so I went into the business and had a very pleasant experience.
Of course.
So it's really sad. There's other people that may just go, oh, okay, that's what it's like, and never go in there
And
again.
never
and
even
that's
give them
not
a
fair.
try.
It's just not fair. If you have a complaint about that business, walk in there and find the owner. We're in such a nice, small, personal community that I think they would be thanked by saying, oh, you didn't like my
whatever.
dog of the week, you didn't like the way that we put papers on the counter, okay, we'll change that.
Right, right.
Whatever it is, whatever the complaint is, but there's just too much piling on social media. I can't even watch my Facebook page anymore because of the piling on that goes on. It's
Well, and
just
that's
sad.
just it. And the more that you're out in the community, the more you see and you hear.
Yeah.
And it's like, and with social media, Facebook is my biggie. I'm like, I want to just unfriend people.
Oh yeah.
But then it's like, well, now wait a minute. You know, they're in a area that I still want to be involved with, and so it's like, well, you know, you kind of put up with it. But there's certain times, and I guess today was the day that I read something and I didn't like it, and it hurt. And if it hurt me and it's not even involving me, I can only imagine
how the
that
business owner felt.
how that business owner felt.
And why would they want to stay in a community where there's a group of people that's bashing them? And aren't we trying to keep our storefronts open? Aren't we trying to keep our businesses, our retail, our store, our grocery store, our restaurants? Aren't we trying to keep them here?
Exactly. Exactly. So I hope that we're all taking this to heart, and I hope that we see the positive in it and not the negative. But we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment, okay? Stay tuned. Welcome back to Daybreak. Debbie Wren, President of the Oxford Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Terry Stiles. I am the production manager at OCTV. Talk about businesses. And, you know, I didn't mean to be so negative about the community, because I don't think the community is negative.
No, absolutely not.
I just think it's so hard to read negative stuff on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and
and that's really what we were talking about is the social media that was that negativity. And it's not that we're being negative about our community, because as a whole,
it's a place everybody wants to be, really.
Absolutely.
And then just look at the newspaper again, and I can't promote Oxford Leader enough, but 2 hospitals want to come into our community. And if 2 hospitals come into our community, that means radiology clinics want to be in our community, doctors will want to be in our community, nurses, everything that goes along with just the hospital staff itself.
Yes.
And we are a positive community as a rule. I hope they don't read some of the personal little comments that they get on Facebook. But so it looks like Ford wants to come in, as well as Beaumont. And I spoke with Jack Curtis the other day, who is the chairperson for the economic development for the Township of Oxford. And so he's a wealth of knowledge. If anybody wants to know anything about anything that's going on in the Township of Oxford,
we can't say enough good about Jack.
And isn't he's on a village meeting, on the DDA as well, isn't he, or the Planning Commission?
I think he's planning.
Don't quote me, he's Planning Commission. He knows what he's talking about, this guy. But he was saying Beaumont was the first to submit a proof of need to the state of Michigan. So in order to bring a hospital into a community, the state of Michigan has to go, oh yeah, they need one here. And they need so many beds. And so Beaumont, I think, submitted 117 beds. Right after that, or right around the same time, same day, a day later, Ford then submitted one as well to the state of Michigan with a 16-bed state proof of need.
16?
116. 117 from Beaumont, 116 from Ford. So I think the state then will decide who gets approved for that certificate of need. And then the next thing you know, so Beaumont wants to build by Myers at that corner on the American Eggs property. Ford would like to build on Koenig's property, which would be really nice for Peter Fredericks, who owns Koenig's, because he's kind of winding that business down, he kind of inherited that. Neat story. He's a neat guy. His grandfather started the business. His dad inherited it. His brother then inherited it because Peter was on to something else. I can't remember what it was that he studied, but his brother died. And so then he got the business. And
Okay.
he's like, what do I do with it? And he knows he's fourth generation to third
Yes.
generation, so he knows what to do. But he's winding it down. He's been working with the township for years. The township is requesting that they remediate areas that they've dug in.
Sure.
And so they have been remediating. So that would be a beautiful plot of land for Ford to build on.
Sure.
It just, I would be concerned about the traffic issues right there at Gillespie and Lakeville, because there's traffic issues right there anyhow. I'm really glad I moved up in Gillespie. I lived there for 25 years, and whew, I think we got out of it in time, just after the high school. So yeah, they've got that high school traffic there.
Sure.
And they would have hospital traffic. I don't know what I know that they've talked for many years to have Gillespie, the north and south, reroute from 24.
Perfect.
Except for there's miles of residential in there.
Yeah, there is.
So,
there is.
Anyhow, maybe the state of Michigan will look at that as well. I think that 24 and Oxford Road is a really good fit, but that's only my personal opinion. I would like to see either one of them come in, because look what the economic boom that we could have in our community.
Can't even.
On one hand, on the other, gosh, I'd really hate to see the density that would come with that. I know.
Yeah,
but that's old-fashioned of me. You know, I really hated to see the density that came into Lake Orion. Just because I was raised there. And then I've spent my adult life here in Oxford. I like rural atmospheres.
Well, and for myself, I mean, I grew up in Rochester.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I grew up before
And you had a
Crittenton
hospital.
Hospital, which is now Ascension,
wow.
before they were ever there.
Ah.
So, I mean, I remember the horse farm, and we had our own little dairy there.
And the seed farm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, you know, these things, we have that change that takes place.
Hard, yeah.
But with as large as our community has grown, and God forbid that we have problems, but I'm sorry, these hospitals are busy all the time. Right where we are here in Oxford, we can only go into Rochester, or we go north and go all the way up into Lapeer.
Right. And Flint.
It's could be a life-saving help if we have something this much closer to us.
So I wonder then what that would do for our insurance rates. If we have a hospital within our community, I wonder if that brings our insurance rates down. Like when there's a fire hydrant.
Exactly, yes.
ISO rating, I think it's called. That helps your insurance rates.
Yep.
So I wonder if having a hospital in your community helps too, because that's less money that the fire department's going to spend. That's less money the community is going to spend for those runs that I say fire department, but I mean EMS.
Well, but we do have that
runs.
EMS in there too, and yes, and the EMS. And I know that some
Benefit.
people were saying, you know, well, geez, hearing the sirens going all the time. Well, my goodness, we have the sirens that are going from the fire department, and we have, unfortunately, we have our police department. Their sirens are going, and ambulances. I mean, they have their way of letting the community know that, hey, clear away. But once they're there, they're there. Those sirens don't keep going.
Right.
You know.
They do it at intersections, I think.
Exactly.
And if it was the Beaumont that the state of Michigan decided should build out here, it's up 24. It's not. They wouldn't be in a residential area with those sirens.
Exactly.
They would be going up
Right
24.
down Main Street.
All businesses. Boy, that would really bring up the property values, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that too, for sure, sure. And it would bring in an awful lot more employment too.
It sure would. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of
And
a good
more
thing.
housing.
You kind of go, oh darn, and then it's a good thing too.
Yeah. And it is something that I'm very thankful. I was very surprised, but very thankful at the same time to hear about it, because it is something that we all, young and old, we all need to be aware.
We have to think about it.
And you got to think about
People
it.
with kids, that neighborhood across the street with all the kids, and maybe that would bring in Taco Bell. I keep telling Jack Curtis, please bring Taco Bell in here.
Oh, that's
I
cute.
love Taco Bell.
Well, listen, we've had some unusual
Golly.
conversations today.
Yeah.
I hope that you enjoy. Terry and I have enjoyed. So
Once again.
until next time, you have a great day. Enjoy the weather. Happy spring. And we'll see you again soon.